4 in a row for the Philadelphia 76ers. A big-time win tonight against the Los Angeles Clippers, 128-113. I'm Coy Camiscioli for Philly Sports Talk here for you guys. I am stoked about this game. This was awesome. Sixers go to 28-21 on the season, starting out this West Coast trip with a bang in this game. Clippers fall to 23-26. And, before I want to break anything down, this was the Dominic Barlow game. I mentioned in the last podcast for the Sixers how with this Paul George news of the suspension, we're going to need guys to step up from top to bottom. And Dominic Barlow, who was getting starts, was really starting every night for the Sixers with Kelly Oubre not playing when he was down with an injury. He came back in that starting lineup, and man, he was unbelievable tonight. I will get to him. I will get to everything. We also have some pretty major NBA news. So James Harden did not play tonight, and I was a little confused. I definitely was confused. It said listed as personal reasons, right? And it comes out right around at halftime that the Clippers and Harden are working on a deal to get him out of LA, actually, which was a little shocking. I'm not going to lie. The Clippers have been rolling as of late. So that was a little shocking to hear, and there's rumors of being a Cavaliers trade with a swap of Darius Garland, but I'm not so sure it's quite new, and let's just talk about the game. So in this one, no James Harden for the Clippers, no Derrick Jones Jr., obviously no Bradley Beal, who had the hip fracture. So the Sixers were already at an advantage, and I'll just give you guys my notes from the game. So that first quarter, we really set the tone, and it was an uphill battle for the Clippers the rest of the game. 11-2 run to start the game, forcing an early Clippers timeout. Dominic Barlow was putting in really good work on the offensive glass and on offense in general, and I wrote that back way early in the first quarter. He set the tone in this game, without a doubt. And when I knew we were going to win this game, Tyrese Maxey pulled up from deep and hit a crazy three to go up 19 in the first quarter. Sixers were leading 38-19 at the end of the first. Feeling pretty good. Second quarter, Quentin Grimes had a poster on John Collins that it was really wholesome. If you're a diehard Sixers fan, back in 2021 when the Hawks beat the Sixers in the second round, John Collins dunked on Joel Embiid, and he showed up to a playoff game wearing a shirt of the poster. So it was really cool to see Quentin Grimes kind of deliver a nice little revenge for the Sixers a couple years late, but it was cool to see. It was wholesome. We started a double Kawhi Leonard, which I really like. I think this was a great call by Nick Nurse. I don't often give him credit for certain things, but I really like this a lot. We started a double Kawhi Leonard, and the whole idea of it is just to make someone else on this team beat you. And it was great. There were certain possessions that the Clippers got some open looks because of the double team. But for the most part, it was quite effective. And Kawhi Leonard, he started to try and do kind of everything. You could kind of see the intensity ramp up inside of him. And it just wasn't working. So, again, in that second quarter, I wrote down again that Dominic Barlow was doing everything. I mean, everything. So, Joel Embiid, he kind of took the back seat in the first half, let everyone else do the work offensively, and the Sixers went into the half leading 72-53. That third quarter, Dominic Barlow creating more second chance points. It wasn't as good of a third quarter for the Sixers. Defense wasn't too great, but we grew into the fourth, leading 100-87. And in that fourth quarter, Barlow, again, so mentioned all four quarters, that's how good of a night he was, still getting offensive rebounds, led to multiple and one plays for him, and we go up 113-97. And that was the end of the game. So, very, very good night for the Sixers. Dominic Barlow's full stat line in 35 minutes, 26 points, 10 of 16 from the field. He had 16 rebounds, 10 offensive rebounds, guys, 10. 2 steals and a block. He was doing everything for the Sixers. And again, I just want to tip my hat. We needed somebody to step up in the absence of Paul George with the suspension, and he was there to do the job. I've always been the whole season I've been praising Dominic Barlow, saying I like him a lot, and I said this really early on. So for you, the newer listeners, take this with a grain of salt because obviously they're light years away from each other. But he kind of reminds me of Victor Wembanyama. Like, listen, nowhere near Victor Wembanyama, but kind of like he's kind of lanky like him, kind of looks like him a tad. Plays good, has a good defensive presence. These offensive rebounds that you see, he can shoot too. So that's what he kind of reminds me of, but I am definitely a big fan. So, great night from Dominic Barlow, man. I was so happy to see. Tyrese Maxey, 29 points from him, 9 of 18 from the field, 7 of 14 from 3. Continues to shoot lights out. That's 50% from beyond the arc in this game. excellent job. 6 assists, 3 steals to go along with it. Great job from Tyrese Maxey. Joel Embiid had 24 points this one. He was 8 of 19 from the field, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Nothing too crazy from him. Kelly Oubre knocked down 3 3-pointers. He was 3 of 6 from 3. 15 points for him. 6 of 13 from the field total. Solid night from him, too. VJ Edgecombe had a bad shooting night, but listen, it's going to happen Stein. So he did have 7 assists, but he shot 1 of 11 from the field, had 5 points. So nothing too crazy there. The bench, a decent bench night. The Sixers have been struggling with some bench points as of recent, and Quentin Grimes, 14 points, 5 of 8 from the field, knocked down a couple threes, had 4 assists to go along with it. Good to see, because he was struggling a little bit before his foot injury and a little bit after. So he got 28 minutes in this one, and it's good to see him knock down a couple 3 balls. Jared McCain, he had 14 minutes. I thought he was going to get a little bit more than that. I believe he had 17 to 18 the other night against the Pelicans, and he was really effective. But 6 points for him, 2 of 2 from the field, knocked down 2 threes. One of them was a big one at the time in the game as well. 4 assists for McCain, too. Adem Bona, this was not good for the Andre Drummond agenda, because Adem Bona was great. And listen, I have high praise for Adem Bona, but if you've been listening to my podcast, you know that I've wanted Drummond to play some minutes here and there. I don't think he's, should be getting 0 minutes, but at the same time, you get 16 quality minutes like this from Adem Bona, it's kind of hard to take him out. I got to give it to him. 6 points on offense, but that's not really what he's there for. 2 blocks, had 3 offensive rebounds. It's kind of the guy who he is. He's not a fun. He looks like he's not a fun player to play against, especially if you're a big man. Obviously he's a bench player, but he is just a very athletic center, and he's really fun to watch. If you're going to a game, you're probably going to see a couple really cool blocks, some emphatic slams. He has a handful of those dunks like that every single game. Great game from Adem Bona. I loved what I saw from him. Takes the load off Joel Embiid as well. So that was good. Trendon Watford, he got 11 minutes in this one. Again, you expect to see his minutes go up a little more and more with the Paul George suspension. Just 3 points, 1 of 2 from the field, nothing too crazy. And Jabari Walker got in some garbage time, didn't really do anything. So I really like the depth of this team. I've talked about it all year. It's going to be tested. Justin Edwards, he didn't get any minutes in this game. Andre Drummond, no minutes. I think you can expect to see those guys get in at some point, depending on who the hot hand is for the Sixers and who gets cold. As for the Clippers, nothing too crazy. Kawhi Leonard, 29 points, 12 of 21 from the field. He had a couple really nice plays, but again, it just looked like he needed some more help. 14 total turnovers for the Clippers compared to the Sixers' 5. That is a great job. A job well done. Seriously, 5 turnovers on the night. Very good to see. Sixers also shot 44% from 3 and 95% from the free throw line, missing just 1 free throw. They kind of did everything, and they did everything the Clippers did in this game. So it was all around a great game for the 76ers, and I'm stoked that this is how we start out the West Coast trip. The Sixers have 4 games left on this West Coast trip. They got the Warriors tomorrow night for the second half of back-to-back. Then they have the Lakers on Thursday, Suns on Saturday, and the Trailblazers on Monday. And the Warriors are a little beat up. They're going to be going into tomorrow's game at a disadvantage against the Sixers. They won't have Stephen Curry. They won't have Jonathan Kuminga. Obviously, no Jimmy Butler with the ACL injury. So Sixers have to take advantage of that, but they can't go in there expecting to steamroll them. But take care of business tomorrow. Start this West Coast trip 2-0, and we're really looking good if we can be able to do that. So, quick standings update. Sixers are currently 28-21. They are gaining some ground on some of the teams ahead of them. It doesn't help that everybody ahead of them, the 5 teams ahead of them, are all on winning streaks of at least 1 game. So they've all won their most recent game, if not more. The Sixers, 8.5 back of the 1 seed Pistons. Again, that's not really what I'm looking at right now. Just 2 games back of the Raptors and Cavaliers, who are tied for the 4th seed, and 3 games back of the Knicks and Celtics, who are tied for the 2 seed. As in terms of the play-in, they are 2 games up on the top seed in the play-in, which is Miami. So gaining some ground on that, which is huge. Don't want to risk the play-in. And they are 6 games up on the first team out. So doing some work, guys. It's coming together a little bit. Just got to keep gaining ground, keep beating the teams we're supposed to beat. With the record of 20-21, it's starting to look good. It's 4 games in a row now. 4 games in a row. After the Bucks win a couple of days ago, I said that might be the start of something special for the Sixers, that they might go win 14-20. And if you're including that as a start, they're 4-0 since I said that. Well, they're 3-0 since I said that, but they're 4-0 in the stretch of games that I said they're going to go 14-20 in. So, great stuff, man. I'm really pleased with how the start of this West Coast trip has been. Around the league, nothing too much. Just 3 other games tonight, nothing crazy. Hornets win their 7th straight over the Pelicans. Obviously, the Pels are bad, but we kind of a tight one against them, so I can't say much. Rockets just got one out over the Pacers, nothing too crazy there, and the Grizzlies took down the Timberwolves. But that's it around the NBA tonight, guys. Here we go, guys. Had to bring the song back for the outro. Guys, great win. I'm very happy with the Sixers. Good start to the West Coast trip. Hopefully I'll be back tomorrow night for you guys. Go Sixers.